back, Mikey G. Welcome back. I even got Mr. Biggs here with us. Biggie Notorious B.I.G. is back for his cameo appearance.
Always.
Biggie, what do you have to say?
Mr. Biggs.
Oh, Mr. Biggs. He's really still here.
So, what's the tea? What do you got going on?
Listen, I know we just turned the calendar page. You know, we're in a whole new year. It's a whole new me. It's a whole new you. And
It's definitely a whole new me.
I have to tell you right now, straight up, that I am now, every year we get older, our lives get shorter, right? Common sense. And so, you have to start kind of you got to start deciding who you want to be in your life at the moment. And, it used to be all about people that want to, it's all about, I got 100,000 friends. Yeah, all right, let's just figure out who the real ones are and who the fake ones are. And there's people in our life, there are people in our life that are either vacuums or batteries. And I'm going to
What do you mean by that? What's a vacuum?
Okay, so the vacuum is somebody that's literally going to suck the life out of me. Somebody that's going to just be so toxic and no matter, they could be one of your closest friends. And your closest friend because they've been with you the longest or whatever. And it's but all those years, they just create so much
drama
and toxic and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I got to get, and it's not easy to kind of separate yourself from the vacuums that suck the life out of you. And then, and there's been a lot of people that have sucked the life out of me. And it's not just always friends, it's family too. So we don't need to say names, but they know who they are. And it's a waste of my time. It really is. And I'm at a place in my life where I want to surround myself with batteries. And batteries are the people that energize me, that keep me motivated, that keep me inspired, that, they're good for me. They're good for my family. They're good for the people around me.
Are you one of those people that it's a dead to me? If somebody makes a mistake, or is it
Well, yes, actually. And you don't have to be a friend. You don't have to be a family. So, for instance, no secret, I've been very open about my father's passing and very emotional about that. And what I will say is that there are friends, former friends, and family members that did not reach out to our family when my father passed away. And that, to me, is now you're dead to me, okay? Because listen, I had a former business partner, and we did not leave off on good terms. And a few years later, down the road, her mother passed away. Now, I didn't really, I knew her mom, but I didn't know her mom. You know what I mean? And I remember seeing that and so heartbroken because I'm human that I didn't text her. I didn't send her an Instagram message or a DM. I picked up the goddamn phone and called her and said, I am so sorry to hear about your mom. And it wasn't an opening to try to reconnect or anything like that. It was about humanity, pure fucking humanity. And there are people in my life that didn't have the goddamn humanity. Whether you knew me you knew about my family, you knew about my relationships. Worse, you are family. And you didn't even acknowledge, not just myself, but my son, was very close with their grandfather. And that, to me, you're a piece of and you're dead to me.
That's a dead to me.
That's
sure.
a dead to me. And do you agree?
I totally agree.
So that
I had the
my
same thing
anger
when my
is still
father
there.
died.
And I got friends. Listen, I have somebody that I am no longer friends with. And she's in a very toxic relationship with a man. I will never again take a side because she asked me to be her friend and take her side on her relationship. I did. She gets back with the guy, and then all of a sudden I'm the worst person in the world because I'm public enemy number one because I sided with her. She chose to go down the toxic road. I'm glad she's out of my life. But that person, now it just shows me that person is just as evil because when her father passed away,
you were there.
I was there for her. I drove from New Jersey. Yeah, there is an expectation.
You have an expectation for your batteries.
I do,
your batteries
but you
have to have an expectation.
Your batteries have to have an expectation. And when I got my cancer, was she there? No, she didn't come. And when my father passed, even though we don't talk anymore because she makes some convoluted story about a trip and plane tickets, like she's out of her mind. But this person who I'm no longer friends with over something that was, instigated by her narcissistic person that she's with.
So if she's narcissistic, then she's not.
Then
a battery.
I guess she is.
She's a vacuum.
She's the vacuum. So
she's a vacuum.
So I've learned to let go, let them, like that book from Mel Robbins, that everybody's like, you got to read that. I'm like, oh girl, I let go of that. I don't want to be a part of that.
I'm gonna tell them. I'm not a freaking let them.
I think
I'm
let them
tired
means
of letting people walk all over you. Exactly. I don't think so.
Exactly.
If you want to be a jerk, I'm gonna tell you you're being a jerk.
Right.
So I love Mel Robbins, and I think that there is something to the whole idea of let them. I think there is, like, allowing somebody to be themselves, be their authentic self, and also to be the observer and pay attention to what is really around you. Because sometimes you think that you have a friend and they're really not a friend, right?
Exactly.
Which is what a vacuum is, right?
Yeah, and you find out that people use you. They're jealous of you. Like, these are why things blow up, and the real friends are the ones that stick by you through thick and thin. And, when that particular situation, I don't want to add any more energy to it because it's so far behind me. But what it means is that people that, it doesn't have to be friends, it could be family. Like, when something traumatic like that happens, like, I do expect people to be like me, and I can't control anybody, and I get Chihuahua. Sorry, Biggie.
Well, and also,
I do get Chihuahua, and I'm like, that's not humanity. Like what my dad passing was a really big moment for me to see people's true colors.
I do feel like in death, you definitely
see
people for what they really are.
My son was devastated. Like, people didn't come out. People didn't reach out.
But do you feel like maybe there could be somebody that might not understand, like, how to grieve? Like, they don't understand.
No.
There's no excuse for that.
No, there's no excuse. You can't. Listen, like I said, when my former ex-partner, business partner, her mom passed away, we hadn't talked for years. And I picked up the phone. And we had a nice conversation. It wasn't like, okay, we're going to be friends again. It was humanity in the finest. Because that's the way I was brought up. That's the way my father brought me up. And so when my father later passes on, there are people that did not come back. And you know what? Whether you like me or not, have some
They
heart,
come and
people.
go in chapters. Like,
right.
You
So
definitely
I'm done.
have people.
I'm done. I'm done with the vacuums. I'm so over it. I will only surround myself with people that are batteries.
Right.
I don't fight for friendships. I
Do you
don't
think
need
that's like
to fight.
part of like wisdom as you get older? Like, you just don't want to be with like people who just don't give a shit.
I think age. I think I
It
think
does
age
come
and
to play,
wisdom.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you learn through experience.
I mean, I feel like in my 40s, like I definitely, like, and I had an experience too, like, with somebody that I thought that was a friend that, you know, kind of allowed to use their emotions as an excuse to behave inappropriate, to affect me negatively.
Right.
Total vacuum.
Right.
Done.
Done.
Appeared to be a battery.
Done.
But appeared to be a battery on the outside. I thought that person was an uplifting charge.
Right.
And instead, they were the vacuum. Because sometimes they come disguised.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. If you are, you know, in a full-blown addiction mode, you have mental health issues, you have anything like that, that's a pass. That's a pass for somebody acting completely inhumane to me.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, that's something like saying, like, okay, that person's not in their right frame of mind to act like this.
There's a lot of people that use those type of things like mental illness
They
as
do,
an
but
excuse
these
to
I'm
walk all
talking
over
about
you.
people that don't.
Right.
That claim they're amazing, you know,
Right.
and you know, people could claim they come from a close family, they're good people, also bullshit. I think it's not even so much the friends, it's more the family that burned the most. They burned. And you know what?
Family always burns harder.
It does burn harder.
Because
it
you
does.
really go, like, I mean, I'm
It
Italian,
does.
you're Italian.
It does.
We were raised that blood is thicker than water, right?
You were
So
raised-
you would think that blood is thicker than
You
water.
do think that, but it's not.
But it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not. Because you know what? The closest friends of mine I call family. I call you and Michael family. You know, those are the people like that are there for you. You know, there are friends that I'm not very close with, but they came for me. They came for us as a family. They came for my son. It's not just about me, but it's for our family. And that was a big awakening for me.
You know, from what I'm hearing, like, I feel like the fact that, like, they didn't call for your son affects you more than about yourself.
It is. You know what? You're right. Because you know what? Social media and texting is so easy nowadays.
We're so connected.
You
There's
don't have
no
to.
excuse.
You know what? You don't even have to pick up the
There's
phone.
no excuse.
You don't have to call them. You don't have to call anybody. You could just send
can
a
DM
message
in the middle of the night,
and that's
2
enough.
o'clock in the morning
I
on
got
your bed.
one cousin in my family out of all my cousins that didn't call me, and he knows who he is, and he did not text. He didn't have to call. I would have accepted a text. Guess what? Guess what, sweetie? I wouldn't have thought of it as an opening, like we want to hang out and be friends again. No.
It's
but
not
you
about that. It's a
missed
humanity
the
thing, like
it's a
you said.
humanity thing. You didn't pick up. All you had to do was text. You didn't have to call me. Better yet, my son is your wife's godmother. Why didn't she text my son to say, I'm sorry to hear about your grandfather? And my cousin should have texted me and said, I'm sorry to hear about your father. Why? He was the only one out of all my family that didn't reach out on social media, on DMs, and text messaging and phone calls. Okay? So, word to the wise out there, like, that is somebody who's dead to me. That is somebody who, you know what? And it's strange because I know my aunt and uncle that raised him because his brother reached out to me. My uncle reached out to me.
So you feel like family should have to, like, reach out.
You know what?
regardless.
Fake it. Fake it. Fake it if you have to. Fake it.
You know, it's funny
But
that,
just
it's
show-
funny
but
that
you know
say
what
that
shows?
because my dad
'Cause
used
you know
to
what?
say to me all the time, you do what's
Oh.
right. What's right.
Yeah,
It's about
that's how
what's
my
right.
father raised me.
Fake it.
That's
Fake
how
it,
my
exactly.
father raised me.
I
And
agree
I
with
did.
you.
I did.
You do what's right. You do what's right. You do what's important.
My
Right?
closest friends that are very close to the situation in my family are my very, very close friends that I grew up with and have been around me and my family for 35 years, right? They said to me, how wrong. Like, that is just horrible. Horrible. No
So
matter
who are
what
your
you're going through,
Who are your batteries?
my batteries are you, of course, are the ones that like rally, the ones that like are excited for you, that like share, like they want to be a part of what's going on. I have a whole new group of friends. I have an old group of friends. Whether I've moved around, I've lived all over the place, I've traveled all over the world, and I have met some of the most incredible people. And I have been able to weed out the good, the bad, and the ugly. And my batteries are the ones that I keep close to me. And they stay close, you know, they want me to be a part of their life. I don't hold anything.
And sometimes batteries run out.
Batteries
Sometimes
do
batteries
run
run out. There's chapters in your life that people serve purpose. They come along. They're like they're your support. They lift you up.
1000%.
And then all of a sudden something happens and bam.
Yep.
They're no longer there. Now they're a vacuum.
Right. And then that's when I say I'm done. And while it upsets me, and I'll get on a you know, like a soapbox like I am right now, I just want everybody to know, like, if you're listening to this and you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. and I just want you all to know that I don't really give a anymore. What I'm trying to explain is that there are vacuums and that there are batteries, and that there are ways to be a good person, and maybe you should try to be a good person later down the road, because it doesn't take much. Today, in today's society, social media is very easy, and to communicate with people where you don't want to be face to face. You don't want to, there's no open door. I don't care. Do I harbor some of that? Do I harbor resentment?
Do you feel like you've been like a battery or like a vacuum at any point in your life?
I have been.
We all make mistakes. So
I've
the thing
made
is, like,
mistakes.
I have definitely been both. I've been a battery and I've also been a vacuum.
Yeah, I have. I mean, there's people that don't want to, like, they want you to help them, and then when you give them their advice, they don't want to listen to it. So you become a vacuum to them and their significant other, or whatever the situation is. And then, you know, it's called dead weight. You know,
there's a lot of dead weight.
There's a lot of dead weight out there, and
Everyone
they're narcissists because they turn it around and they try to say,
Everyone will hold onto your ankle.
That's person's dead weight. That person's dead weight, and you're like, wait a minute, dude, you're the dead weight. But I see what you're doing because you're manipulating, you know, and that's a narcissist. You know, I mean, there's a whole level of narcissism out there. But you know what? I could say I live a great life. I love my family. I love my friends. I love my circle. Do things change? People come in and out of our lives for different reasons. They come in at the right time. They leave at the right time. You may not think it is, but it really is. And they come in. They
what do you
in,
think the best way is to get out of to get away from like a vacuum? Like, if you got a vacuum in your life, like, how do you tell them, or how do you cut them off? Do you not cut them off cold turkey? Do you give them the opportunity to become a battery again?
Mikey G, I'm straight up. That's what this is all about. I will tell you straight up how I feel.
Right.
I don't put foot around.
Neither do I.
I don't.
It is.
I don't care. I just say it like it is. I'm straight up.
Straight up.
And so I will tell you, you know what? You're you know, like, what the wrong with you? Or what's happening? Or I don't like what's going on here. I don't like the way I feel. I have said that. I have cut people off saying those things.
Right.
So I'm okay. I am straight up. I've always been straight up. My mouth has been my, you know, is not a problem, but it's been my...
It's your strength and your weakness,
It's my strength and
right?
my weakness. Yeah, sometimes I should keep my mouth shut. And some people say...
I don't know. I think being authentic is most important. You have to be your most authentic self. Like,
1000%.
People, listen, you have to embrace your flaws and embrace your...
We're not on this show
strengths.
to fluff anybody's bull.
Right.
I'm not here to do that.
That's
not
the extra dirty, baby.
That is the extra dirty. And that's not what this show is about, being straight up extra dirty. And I'm not here to blow smoke up anybody's ass, to make everything look pretty and all this other except for my face and my hair. You know, like this is where it stops, and this is where the truth comes out. And that's why, you know, it's about being authentic. It's about being real. And that's what this is all about. And that's what I'm about. And, you know, straight up. So we can just, you know, I can just keep going on and on, but I'm sure there'll be more episodes.
I mean,
of
we
this.
could get extra dirty.
Oh, we could certainly get extra dirty. Oh, we're going to get extra dirty. So if you want to hear more about this, if you want to hear more.
But I don't want to be a vacuum. I'm going to be a battery. So,
you will always
like,
be a
let's
battery.
be straight up.
You
like,
are an
let's be
absolute
straight
battery
up.
in my life.
I will always be straight up with you, my girl.
I will always be extra dirty
You're
when
amazing.
I can. I love you.
I love you too.
Subscribe.
Follow. And like YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok,
at Straight Up Extra Dirty, all the podcasts,
Spotify,
platforms,
iHeartRadio.
at Straight Up Extra Dirty, and Lisa Ann Marchesi.
I'm Mikey G. Make sure to tune into our next episode. It's going to be straight up
And Extra Dirty.
extra dirty, off the charts.
Off the charts.